Hello, I'm VJ Karana. Welcome to My Australia, the show about people from overseas having Australian experiences. On today's show, Jay zips through the treetops of a rainforest, Natsumi goes kayaking, and Salome explores the art of belly dancing. Our first guest, Jay, has never been to a rainforest before. He's now about to visit one of the most beautiful in the country. Let's take a look.
My full name is Ankur Jalvi. I am from Delhi in India and I'm 23 years old. When my father passed away and my mom remarried, it kind of changed my point of view towards people, and I think after that point I became more independent. When I first came here in Melbourne, the first thing that I noticed was it was so quiet. I study in Lush University and I study finance, and right now I'm living in student accommodation. Yeah, I like to make YouTube videos. Where are you going? What are you doing tonight? Why are you wearing this? Why are you wearing that? Wait, why are you naked in your room? What? I just come out and shower. And it's all about what I have seen here in Australia and what I used to do back in India. There are so many misunderstandings about Indians and Australians all around the world. Over here, I have a couple of friends who are really good at instruments, like one of my friend, Aaron, and other friend Sam, they're really good at guitars. And other friend Andre, he's really good at jam bass, single drum. So we usually just, sit around when we are free and we just jam. We sing, we play guitars, we play drums, and it's really good. It's fun. Everything that I do here, most of the things that I can do now, like living on my own, cooking and cleaning and just, surviving on my own, it's completely a different thing. And back in India, I didn't used to do any of these things. I am in Otway Ranges in Victoria, 2.5 hour roughly a drive from Melbourne. I'm actually hoping to learn a bit more about the rainforest because I've never been to one, that's the thing, and a bit more about, how adventures goes around in Victoria.
The whole of the Otways has been logged a number of times. And, well, to put it into perspective, about 100 years ago, the forest average canopy height was about 110 metres, and now it's about 50 and 60 metres, and there was 4 layers. Beautiful tree. That one's about 160, 180 years old, and it'll live to probably 700 or 800 years.
180 years old, and it's still
so it's about a quarter
more like 600 years to go.
It's about a quarter of its way.
So if I compare this place back to India, where I've been to, the only difference, the biggest difference that I see is, here you've got like really tall, big trees. And I don't see a lot of wildlife, insects and birds around here. But back in India, it's not a lot of tall trees and stuff, but a lot of birds and insects.
Right.
Is it just with this region?
Our birds are migratory, and they'll take off to sunny Queensland through this time of the year, and then come back in the spring and summer to breed. So we're on 225 acres here. We only use this tiny little corner. Most of the land here is really devoted for wildlife and the recovery of the natural environment.
Right now, at the point that I'm standing at, we are about 30 meters high, as Nathan told me. And from this point, you'd really not want to look down. But if you do have willpower to look down, it's actually quite beautiful because you can see the trees that are not tall enough growing under these big trees, and it's all green. So from here, you get a really different perspective of the forest and what goes under you. I was actually into photography back in India as well. And here there are so many new things to photograph. In terms of photography, Australia gave me a lot of new chances to work out on my skills, and I'd say I'm a much better photographer now than what I was before. About ziplining, when I came here, I actually wasn't nervous. I was pretty excited, but right now that I'm all in this gear and hanging this thing, handling, I'm pretty excited, and I'm nervous as well, actually, to be honest. I'm pretty nervous now. I'm not scared of heights, but I have my own strategy. I'll try not to look down, but even if I will, I'll just take a deep breath and, try to calm myself down. Yeah, I did say I would like to live my life to the fullest, and it's actually a little part of it that, just try to do whatever you can. Is this the highest one?
No way, this is only half as high as you get.
And just don't, look back and don't be scared of things. So yeah, it's a bit of adventure today to just, be on a little bit of height, hanging down a tree.
Welcome to Cloud Station 1, everybody. How are we all feeling?
Good.
Good, pretty good?
Yep.
Okay.
I love doing the zip line. For me, personally, it's great fun to feel every day, but to go with guests that are having a brand new experience every time, it feels like your first time every time because they're just woohoo and loving it, and so it gets you up and going.
Oh, well, just hoping that I get to the other end. I don't want to get stuck here.
You will, you will. Okay, so get comfortable, sit on down in the harness. Now just put your feet over the edge.
Oh,
and
okay.
Here's the point of no return. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here you go. Woohoo!
At the starting, I was a bit scared because, you know, I could see the ground and it was so high. But as I said, it wasn't like the highest point for this bit. So yeah, it was good, and I'm just looking ahead towards the next one.
All right, take 2. It can only get easier, right?
Well, I hope it is. I had it in my mind that how am I gonna make friends here, because the biggest issue was the language, because what I speak, they won't understand. What they speak, I might not understand, even though my English was not that bad, but it wasn't that good either. So you need just to be a little bit more confident about yourself, and if you go out, yeah, you'll definitely make friends. As I, you know, just went further with my stay, I started getting along with a lot of different nationalities. And after that, I really didn't care who I'm talking to. Doesn't matter if it's a local or international. If I can talk, I can make friends. It was more like that. It just took me 6 months to realize everything, and after that, it was all good. Oh, look, he's flying as well.
And enjoy.
Scary bit was when, and the zipline, the longest one, we were told to look at the bottom. So I was just going through it, and then I decided to, okay, I'll look at the bottom. And I tilted my head down, and I'm like, no, that's too high. 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're back. Oh, it was good, the whole thing. We did zip lines and we did these suspended bridges. And I'd say the zip lines, the last bit of it, where we were moving the fastest, it was really good. I'm not gonna forget it. It was so thrilling because within like, I don't know, some 10 seconds, I was scared, I was thrilled, I was happy, then I was sad because it was the last one. So yeah, altogether, it was so fun. It has to be the best.
Very good job.
That's Jay from India, seeing the trees from the top as well as the bottom. From the rainforest to the water now, Natsumi is going kayaking, and she might just get to meet some of Australia's marine life.
Hi, my name's Natsumi, and I'm half Sri Lankan, half Japanese, and I was born in Sri Lanka. I mainly grew up in Singapore and Hong Kong, so those are the 2 places that I would call home. I've been a reader since as long as I can remember, so I have quite an extensive book collection at home, and I feel like they were my best friends. Being an only child, they were sort of a world and people that I could escape to. I started off with the dream of being a lawyer. It was just something that I've always wanted to do. But eventually it got to a point where I realized that idea I had about law and the reality of law, they didn't coincide at all. So we had to break up. It was painful. I'm 100% a tree hugger. I am that sort of person that would pick an animal over a person in any situation. So I think that's definitely one of the most important things to me. Scott is a mining engineer, so he's on an 8-day work, 6-day off rotation. First it was really hard because there were things like opening jars that I had to do on my own and getting rid of bugs and spiders. But now I think it's been good because I see it as sort of a stepping stone to me becoming more independent. So we're at the Port River and we're just about 10 minutes away from Adelaide, and we're going to go kayaking with dolphins today.
All right, anyone paddled a double kayak before? Not a hard job. It takes a little bit of coordination, bit of teamwork. First thing you want to decide is, of course, your favourite colour of boat. You want to feel good out there.
I think I'm most nervous about being in a kayak. I've never been in one and they just look so precarious. Does that look all right?
Feet on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to sit like this?
Because you're not steering at the front, so
Yeah.
that's crucial. So, you know,
That's
as long as
all
you're
right.
comfortable, that's okay.
Yep. I'm a bit worried about falling over, possibly.
Yeah, she's a bit wobbly on the ramp, but once you're on the water, you'll be fine.
That's all right. It would be fun going on a tour group. Make me feel more at ease, I think, just because there'll be other people who hopefully haven't done this before.
All right, guys, well, yeah, you don't get conditions down here much better than this, where the wind drops out completely and it's just spot on, so it should be beautiful. So what we'll do in a minute is head straight ahead here, and this will take us around the back of the island to the ship's graveyard.
Recently, I've just been completely lazy. I've been more of an indoors person, so I'm hoping that by the end of today, I'll feel more motivated. What does it take to actually flip one of these over?
Almost impossible to tip over these kayaks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, considering the nature of the environment, being nice and sheltered, and you can see how long and big and flat and stable these boats are.
Yeah.
Very, very, very unlikely.
They're so stable. I expected them to wobble a lot more, but...
Oh, I can wobble them if you like.
Oh, okay. That's all right. The thing that probably stopped me from doing this sort of thing is, one, lack of knowledge. I had no idea this existed, and I think also I was quite scared. So I needed a little nudge to be able to get out here today, but I'm so glad I did it. So what's the story behind the ship's graveyard? Is it a ship that came here by accident, or...?
Yeah, no, so there's about 26 wrecks in the ship's graveyard, and they call it a ship's graveyard because all the wrecks have been dumped there. They haven't just hit, they haven't just hit the rocks and sunk. Yeah, they've been left there on purpose.
All right.
The environmental conscience wasn't exactly something that existed really back then. So when this was a full-blown working port, everything was just dumped in the river.
When we went to the ship's graveyard, I wasn't sure what to expect. That looks so amazing.
Yeah, she's a nice big structure.
So interesting how they make it. When I did see, I think, the second ship, which was a wooden ship, it was so beautiful. I just couldn't believe it. And the fact that mangroves has started to grow in the middle of it, it looks pretty unreal when you see one up close. Ooh. Starting to get blisters, I think.
On your hands?
Yeah.
Yeah, try not to grip the paddle so tight.
Yeah.
Really.
Because I'm just like holding onto it for dear life.
Yeah.
I think what I enjoyed the most about it was physically challenging, and there was a lot to look at along the way, so it made it a lot easier, I think, surviving out there for 3 hours. They went by so quick, I didn't even notice we were out there for so long.
Ooh. There we go, right in front. Beautiful. So we've got at least a half a dozen down here.
I was definitely surprised the dolphins were so comfortable with us that they could fish around us, and they even did a few sort of tail slaps, I think it was, to get the fish out of the water, and it was just neat to see how they were at ease with people being around them.
A bit of a splash. Pretty hungry critters. They eat about 12 kilo of fish a day, they reckon. And they say your average adult human eats about 2 kilo of food, aside from Christmas. Hence they love it in here because it's a big fish breeding area.
I thought that, you know, to see dolphins, you'd have to go quite far out into the ocean, but to be able to see them up close and not have to go out on a big boat, that's really special.
Yeah, sometimes they're in a curious mood, and sometimes they don't. They want to be left alone. Just hanging about. So that's how they rest, because they need to breathe out of their blowholes, so they can't completely go to sleep, otherwise they drown.
It was amazing. I'm quite surprised that I survived today. I was expecting myself to give up after 5 minutes. I think I might have mastered the technique of paddling.
So is there any or much kayaking on the coast of Sri Lanka?
I do know that we have some beaches that are really popular for surfing, so I'm not really too sure. I'm not that much of an outdoorsy person, unfortunately, but it'd be worth it to check when I go home, actually.
Oh, if you have these experiences,
yeah,
then
I'll
things
just
might
sort
change.
of like crave it.
Yeah. So welcome to the Little Amazon jungle. So what we'll do in a minute is go and explore, and it'll just be a case of taking it nice and easy, one boat at a time, single file.
What I loved about the mangroves, I think, was because it was a bit of a high tide, we sort of had to duck a little, and it was a bit of an obstacle course. I think it was just amazing. What you will find as we paddle through here is little fish, birds in there, and little mud crabs, which are on the banks. Seeing the mangroves and how they've sort of sprung up and done so well in this area is just amazing. It's almost as amazing as dolphins or shipwrecks. People wouldn't think that. You feel like you have the whole world in front of you when you're in a kayak. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's nice and peaceful. Don't really want to go back now. For me, today, I think the best part was just knowing how far I could push myself and be able to see so much along the way. It sort of felt like a reward to sort of like be able to push myself and then see all these wonderful things. It's like if I push myself a little bit further in all things, I feel like I'll get a lot of rewards from it.
Those shipwrecks are haunting, aren't they? And I never knew that dolphins didn't sleep. Well, if you ask me, belly dancing is a mystery. But let's find out from some people here what it is and how it's done.
Have you ever done any belly dancing?
Yeah, I did it for a while last year for about 12 weeks, just a little course, like an introductory course on it, yeah.
Great. And how did you find it?
Yeah, it was a bit difficult, but it was sort of like, I know at first it's sort of counterintuitive, but then afterwards you get the hang of it.
Why did you want to try it?
It looks exotic and like it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I like dancing, so yeah. I do it. I perform sometimes.
Okay, where do you perform?
I'm involved in the Russian community, so whenever the Russians want me to do some dancing, they just say, Marina, do some dancing for us.
Russians do belly dancing?
Oh, well, there's actually a lot of Russians on YouTube doing belly dancing, so. But I do it at a place south of the city. The teacher is Lebanese, so she teaches the traditional Middle Eastern style, which is really good.
No.
Yes.
No. I'm from the Middle East, so I'm very into that kind of stuff. I'm not very good myself, but
Why do people do it?
I think they just do it for entertainment purposes, like, you know. I've seen it done at like nights at restaurants and stuff, so occasions, like family occasions and stuff, yeah.
Is it good exercise?
Yeah, I would say it is. Yeah, it doesn't work for me, but I would.
I'm guessing that you haven't tried belly dancing?
No, I haven't. I probably should to get back in shape, but yeah, no, I haven't tried belly dancing, no.
No, but I want to try it if I get chance.
Yes, I have.
You've done it?
Yes, because my background's part Middle Eastern, so yeah.
Our next guest, Salome, is about to learn the art of the belly dance. Let's take a look.
My name is Salome. I'm from the Solomon Islands. I was a very adventurous child when I was growing up. I've got 4 children, so I've got children between 8 and 3 years old. Sometimes we go to the beach before dinner, just go take a walk. The kids can play in the beach or in the park, yeah. It was one of my dreams come true to study in Australia. I really want to experience life in Australia, and truly, it's been a remarkable experience studying here. People are really nice. We decided to come to Wollongong, Australia. It's about an hour and a half south of Sydney. I am studying Masters in Professional Accounting at the University of Wollongong. Normally we get into groups of 4 students and we have a discussion on a topic, and it's good when you have a group because that's another way of learning. There's a lot of trees, a lot of plants around. There are times when I wanted to go to the Botanic Garden, which is just across the road from uni. It really motivates me too. The secret about meeting people in Australia is you have to be very open. You just give them a smile, they give you back a smile, and then you just talk. Oh, Australia is a very, very beautiful country. I wouldn't mind to come back after going home, to come back and live here. It's a very nice place to live. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh, good. Today we're going to do some belly dancing. I felt a bit self-conscious about doing this because I'm always conscious about my self-image. When I first heard about belly dancing, I thought like you're going to really expose yourself, show your belly. I've spoken to Jacqueline over the phone, and I'm looking forward to meeting her and the team today.
Hello, Salome. How are you?
Hi, Jacqueline.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Wow.
Finally.
Finally, yeah.
This is tribal style belly dance.
Wow.
And you're going to be dressed up a little bit like us today too.
Wow.
And you look colourful already, but we're going to add a little bit more to that. So come.
Oh, cool. So it's a mixture of everything.
Yeah, it's a fusion style dance.
Wow.
And it's very much about women sharing together. Okay, now we're going to use our hands. Like scooping ice cream.
Okay.
Nice and soft. And coming up with the wrist. That's it, Salome. You're dancing with us now.
Wow.
I think it's fun because you all meet together. You're like kind of like a family. You're sisters, and you get ready together. You help each other, and
we can all just come to each other, and it doesn't matter what age you are.
Oh, now I look just like them. Oh, I love the dance with the bells. It was like a very free movement where you just take the wheel and you just feel like you're flying in the cloud and you just go free. It was fantastic. It's a very special feeling indeed. All the makeups that they did made me feel like I've transformed to something new. I just accept myself, who I am, just looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, oh, this is me. This is me as a person. You know, I'm unique and I like it. Yeah. I actually felt being accepted. For somebody to come up and say, we'll do this to you, it's sort of like a very splendid experience. Yeah. Thank you, ladies. You did a fantastic job in getting me all dressed up. I can't believe how I look when I look at myself in the mirror. Thank you. I feel so special today. You did a great job. Thanks. Yeah.
Twist and step, twist and step, twist and step, twist and step. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3, 4. And with the zills and up.
You just do it, and the fact that you do it without having a pressure really, really is amazing. You just feel like yourself. You're expressing yourself through dance. So it is an amazing experience.
Yeah, I think it gives you a sense of freedom.
Exactly.
And you're in a safe space to be able to express yourself.
Yeah, especially when you're surrounded in an environment where there's all, female.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this feminine, like the spirit of connection is there.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're able to connect through dance and through all the laughters we had together. And it's a really fantastic experience.
They were really looking forward to meeting you and they just embraced the time together.
You really embraced me.
Oh,
yeah,
thank you. They're dancing.
What an experience.
Salome there, learning a new hobby and making some new friends. That's it for this episode of My Australia. If you like the show, join the conversation on our Facebook page. Coming up next week, Jing Jing goes swimming with tuna and sea lions, Ida tries lawn bowls, and Bhakti shares food with people from around the world. See you then.